Claire, when's the last time you went to a concert?
Kind of recently.
Yeah, I go to a lot of concerts. I'll be honest with you.
My big one coming up is Rosalia, but I haven't bought tickets yet. Don't change the demand yet. I'll tell you when you can go.
God, I will say watching videos of Rosalia's tour.
I haven't watched a single video.
Okay.
Don't tell me.
I really want to go with you.
Don't tell me.
Can I say one thing?
Maybe, is it a spoiler?
No, it's just like a proclamation of some people make art and some people don't.
As I suspect. I'm really going into it blind.
Let me proclaim.
Yeah. But I just have
I'd like to set your expectations here.
I have very specifically gone in.
Art.
Great. I saw the merch last night, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a sweatshirt with like a nun's habit on the back. Like on the hoodie.
Cool.
Yeah, the girl was saying it didn't really eat the way you'd think it would eat. And I was like, yeah, I could see how there's an interesting idea happening here, but maybe.
That's fair. Anyway, God, that Rosalia, she's amazing. The point is, not all concerts are thriving.
Really? And is there a name for something like that?
It's a little term that's been coined recently. People have caught a bit of a fever for saying blue dot fever.
And what does that refer to?
Blue dot fever is like when you look to buy tickets to a concert on Ticketmaster and you see so many blue dots still available for tickets. You know, when you're buying a concert that's in high demand and it's all grayed out. Some of these tours, not so gray, mostly blue. And a lot of the artists are canceling these tours and saying like, oh, my health. Oh, I had to be home with my children. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And people are going, do you have to be home or are you being forced home because no ticket sales?
So who's canceling tickets?
Meghan Trainor has canceled her tour. Zayn Malik
Oh
canceled
my God,
his tour.
Gigi's baby daddy?
Post Malone has canceled a few dates. The Pussycat Dolls have canceled. I mean, we know Jennifer Lopez a couple years ago canceled her tour. There's been a real wave of canceled tours lately from well-known acts. But I will say, I've noticed a real trend of like not true fandomed acts. And I know it's hard to say because I'll sit here and go like, who on earth would ever like genuinely like Benson Boone? And I think there's this hard balance of like, who has an audience that isn't me and who is just someone who's widely promoted by the music industry because they've been around long enough and enough money's gone into their career that people think that they can just keep promoting this name. Who is someone where people actually want to go see them? I just don't get it. And who are people where like, who would go see them?
I think there's a real problem. Like everyone thinks they're Taylor Swift and Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These two women are the leaders of I almost think people believe if you build it, they will come. Like clearly, I know with the Pussycat Dolls, I think they even said like, we have to get realistic about what's going on with the shows. Not everyone can sell out an arena. Most people can't, and that used to be fine. But I think unfortunately, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and because of both misogyny and misogynoir, people assume that like, it's not like this impossible, incredible Herculean feat what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to point out that everything's more expensive. So
yeah,
since 2019, the average ticket price has gone up like 64%.
Holy shit.
It used to be in the 90s of dollars and now it's in the 140s of dollars. On top of that, gas is more expensive, transportation is more expensive, parking is more expensive, hotels are more expensive, merch is more expensive. And it's interesting because this did seem to work at first. Like there was this idea of like post-COVID, we had to recoup some money we lost. People were just so excited to get outside that people didn't mind spending extra money. Everyone wanted to get back to live shows. But of course, that's dying off. And there's this interesting thing happening right now where they're going, well, it's so expensive to put on these shows. Like gas prices, for example, if you have tons of trucks carrying these like big sets from city to city, it's just simply more expensive to tour. But people are like, yeah, and it's also more expensive to get to these tours. So your tickets can't cost that.
Yeah, I think it's hard because obviously this study was done by Airbnb, so I don't know what that even means, a study by Airbnb. But this past spring, they released a study that more people are traveling for concerts than ever.
Well, I think it has to do with the fact that a concert is so expensive, it's now like a destination event.
Mm-hmm. And people are even doing show hopping where they'll like pick a couple of concerts and like spend a long weekend going to a couple of concerts. And like that's their vacation for the year instead of like Europe.
So Ticketmaster is saying, a lot of these ticket prices have gone up, but for the people who are in demand, they command it. You know what I mean? So Beyonce can get those high prices. Taylor Swift can get those high prices. But the problem is it's not trickled down. You know what I mean? If you're not Beyonce or Taylor, things don't scale up.
Yeah, it's not like people are saying, oh, I want to go to a concert. If I can't get Beyonce, I'll go to Meghan Trainor. That's not happening. People are either shelling out everything they've got for Beyonce or they're not going to a concert.
Like there isn't this idea like with movies. I think like everyone goes, oh, that's the price of a movie ticket. You know what I mean? Like there is the sense of like, well, I'm willing to spend X amount to see Beyonce or Taylor, and I'm willing to spend X amount for Meghan Trainor. And if Meghan Trainor goes, well, their prices are so high, I'll higher my price. People are going, well, that's just too high for me.
I think there are some artists touring in the traditional route of like doing a round of smaller venues that they know they can fill and then expanding their tour to bigger venues if the demand calls for it. Hayley Williams, if I hadn't been sick the weekend Hayley Williams was here, I would have spent dumbass money for resale tickets. But then I was like, I actually can't justify this amount of money when I also feel sick this weekend and, stay home when you're sick, blah, 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 whatever.
And you did.
And I did. But luckily, she announced like a week later that she's coming back and doing Forest Hills this summer. And if I don't go to that one, I'll die. I really will. I'll pay whatever money it costs.
I'll get you there for sure. By hook or by crook. Even if I have to crook somebody out like a little Bo Peep with her little cane. Do you know what I mean?
I went to visit my nieces this weekend and I love them so much, but I'll give you one. I'll just give you one. Just let me go to the show.
I want the one that they like.
Get me good seats and I'll let you pick. I was also looking at this and wondering, and when you Google something, you Google your question and you go, I was exactly right. I Googled, does the higher costs of touring and also the precariousness of the market, I wonder if that means people are doing more co-headlining tours. And the answer is yes, they are.
Like who? Jelly Roll and Pigfly or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Jelly Roll and Pigfly are doing a co-headlining tour. Machine Gun Kelly and Wiz Khalifa are touring together this summer. Post Malone and Jelly Roll, as you mentioned. TLC and Salt and Peppa. And In Vogue, Josh Groban and Jennifer Hudson. Liz Phair and Sleater Kinney. There's a lot more. Because I remember when I worked in music tour PR, there were a handful of like legacy acts would go on tour together. So I would do Lit and Everclear and like a couple of those other
I would see that
90s bands would all and they're doing that again this summer. Not them specifically, but I'm seeing a lot.
That's something I would go to.
More of that this summer. And it makes a lot of sense because they're able to co-foot the costs. And then you're also able to have like more people promoting the show. And so like the audiences of Salt and Peppa might find out about it one way, where the audiences of TLC might find out about it a different way. And then everyone's, I think it's a smart way when things are getting more expensive. And it's also a way for audiences to feel like they're getting more bang for their buck, I think. And so we're also seeing festivals go up. Like people are going to festivals more than ever because you're getting to see everybody, even if it's like a smaller amount of time per act. I don't know. I think concert touring is changing a little bit, but that doesn't mean people aren't going to shows. I also think, okay, here's something I was thinking about. Capitalism. When it's real and when it's fake. And listen, I'm not
can I actually shut you off because I have a
Can
I shut you off?
Shut me up.
Not up, off.
Shut me up.
So I was looking into, I know that there's been like a long-standing trial with Live Nation and whether or not they're a monopoly. And there's a couple pieces of good news that have recently come out. One piece of good news is that
they are a monopoly.
A judge found them guilty of being a monopoly. And the result of this may be that they'll have to break up Live Nation and Ticketmaster. And as you were saying, the thing that's so interesting, and I've been thinking about it, is because part of their argument is that they've actually been able to like make things cheaper because of the synergy of they own all the venues. They own the only way to buy tickets. They keep going, we're very competitive. We're very competitive. But if they were competitive, why is everything getting more expensive?
Yeah.
Why does it seem like the fact that you have found this business synergy are tickets up 60% in 5 years? Why wouldn't they have gone down? And that's how capitalism is a lie. This idea that like an economy of scale where the synergy practice where like they're just full of shit. And so they've also been found to have like really like illegal bullying tactics if a venue will not sign with them, that they won't make it accessible to buy tickets from them. And they go, well, that's just good business.
That's not good business. That's illegal business practices.
And as found by a judge. And so the second piece of good news is that they knew this was coming. This was a bill sent from the government a couple years ago after the Eras Tour debacle, because it turns out, as we know, she has a great Republican fan base. It brought everybody together, the bipartisanship. And what Live Nation did was they got a Trump crony ally, former employee, to be like on their board to basically like curry favor with him. They were like kind of slapped on the wrist with some small problems. They were fined a little bit. They settled, hoping that by appeasing the Trump government in that way,
they wouldn't get their monopoly smashed up.
It doesn't matter. The judge has found it smashed up. Of course, obviously, Live Nation is going to fight this by hook or by crook. But it is hopeful for the future because they really are making independent venues impossible. I mean, I just know from my experience as a comedian, it's crazy. When I was like prepping for my special, I went to Philly and I remember being horrified at ticket prices. It was like $35 a ticket, $45 for VIP, I think, plus 2 drinks. And I called my agent and I like made him take it down as low as he could go. But I mean, if you feel like you were getting ripped off, please know I walked away with $100 cash. So like it wasn't me. I asked them to lower it. They wouldn't. And then trust me, I wasn't making that money. And then I think I did also get $100 for transportation.
Nice.
So yeah, I do think at the end of the Amtrak day, I did break even. But when I was doing smaller venues, like the venue I did in DC, I think I walked away with like 50% of the ticket sales. Or like when you do Union Pool or Union Hall in Brooklyn, you walk away with like 50% of the ticket. And you walk away with just way more money. And you sold way fewer tickets at a way lower price point. So it's just worse for performers. It's worse for fans. It's worse for everybody. And yet, somehow, I'm sure by consolidating everything, there has been money saved. And it's like, and all that money went right back into Live Nation and then went right back into Trump's crony.
Yeah, I was also just going to say from an artist perspective, I think that the labels will try to put so much money into the artists that they've already put money into. Listen, I've been a bit of a Meghan Trainor hater for a long time. I never found her particularly compelling.
We saw the craziest event with her. We were at this Spotify event for podcasters and she has a podcast and she was a panelist. And she had this bit going the whole time with like, I don't know who, someone in the audience where she kept acting like it was so crazy that they asked her to talk on a panel. She'd be like, I don't know, we just started this. And I was like, Meghan Trainor, I think you've had a number one. Like, it was like this weird game she was playing like she just woke up in 13 going on 30 and she just stepped into a body of a podcaster or something. And she was like, how did I get here? And I was like, at a Spotify event? I don't know, man.
It just makes sense that you would be here.
Aren't you like a top songwriter and like a longtime famous person?
Yeah.
But she would do this thing where like the interviewer would be asking a different panelist a question and she'd be like looking to the side being like, oh, me? How did I? Like, this is so great. Like, it really was playing it like it was 13 going on 30. Like, she just woke up in the body of...
Maybe she did.
Anna Wintour or something. And
what if she got body
You
swapped?
Want me to pick between these two belts? Ay, caramba. I bet you're wondering how I ended up in this position. Record scratch.
What if we witnessed Meghan Trainor on a day that she got body swapped?
Can I tell you the reason I know she didn't is because if even a 13-year-old ended up in that position, they'd go, pretend to be professional. Nobody who wakes up suddenly on a panel on a stage
goes, what am I doing here?
And they go, yes, let me think about it. Great question. Thank you.
Unless she got body swapped with Tim Robinson. I feel like a Tim Robinson character would not know what to do on a panel.
Yeah, but those guys don't know what to do anywhere. That's their bit. They can't live.
Anyway, I got too much stuff on me. Anyway, my point is, I do think that there are certain people that they ignore the hand of the market. They ignore like what fandoms are looking for because they think that with enough promotional power, they can make consumers do anything. And that is not true. They're watching that happen right now with some of these tours that are failing. These are names that they thought were just like sure things because they have enough Instagram followers that they can slap a paid advertisement on something and people will just buy the tickets, and they won't.
Good luck to everybody who's just trying to enjoy art this summer.
Yeah, I hope that if I announce any shows soon, you guys will definitely want to come to them.
But we will always try to keep tickets low.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about the price of gas because we're probably e-biking there anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's in Scotland.
Even if it's in Scotland, I'll see you on my barge where I'll be pedaling.
What are you, my grandma?